Welcome to Rocks with Me. Can you believe there's still no music? It's okay. I'm in this episode, which is gonna be fire. Can't guess who this is? Well, tune in to the episode and find out. Enjoy and let us know what you think.
Welcome back to another episode of Rocks with Me, where I'm just spitting out different topics, see what comes out, seeing if people do really rock with me at the end of the day. So, welcome back. Today, my first guest of this, of ever on this
Of the podcast.
I was like, of season. No, this is my first season of ever on this podcast. Of course, I had to bring out the big guns and come out with the life coach, Vero Estrada. Like,
I love that for you. Yeah, actually you came out guns blazing. Thank you for having me. It is an honor. And I know this is going to be so much fun, but I'm
yes,
stoked and this
me
is going to
too.
be amazing. And yes, people do rock with you. So already like, duh.
I
Let me just
love it.
establish that.
For those who don't know, Vero is a life coach and retreat host through her business of Big Dream Consulting and the Alchemy Retreats. So she was my life coach, and I feel like this relationship just blossomed from there. She's been rocking with me since before actually I released Good Vibes, Thick Thighs podcast, which was the first podcast I ever like produced and came out in and stuff. And she was a guest a few times on that podcast. So I feel like we're doing a full circle. Like, this is my new endeavor. This is my new baby. And here you are supporting me and agreeing to be my first guest. I don't know why I still kind of like fangirl moment when I'm with you.
Oh, that's awesome. That makes me happy. I was just thinking about that yesterday because, we talked on the phone for like a good minute.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about how awesome it is when your clients turn into your friends. And then when your friends also turn into your clients. I've had that amazing fortune that a lot of my clients end up becoming my real life friends. And also that my friends trust me to be their life coach. It's a whole thing and it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I love this for us because I know that we're going to be in each other's lives for a very, very long time. Like, si Dios lo permite, like
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of our lives, because I feel like there's like a soul connection here and it's like chosen family. So we're down. I'm always going to be down to rock with you as long as we continue to grow and evolve together and we're like on point and loving, respectful, authentic, you know, being real with each other, then
Yes.
yeah, I see us continuing this friendship forever. So I'm stoked about it. And I'm stoked also for you because like you get like the homie Vero that is not always out there, in front of the camera because I am also a professional. I love it that I get to just be myself and be real on, behind the scenes,
Yeah.
which we just had a lot of.
The best of both worlds. It's called balance, guys. If you can't
It's
do this with your
possible.
friends, are they even friends? Just kidding. For the ones that are like tuning in to hearing you on a podcast for the first time, because I know you've had guest appearance on several different podcasts, and like I tune into all the episodes you've came out in. When you think like you've heard enough of Vettel, you hear her on something new and you're like, oh shit, okay.
I surprised myself too. I was like, damn, that's a new gem. I just
Yeah.
dropped that on everybody and on myself. Like, thank you, divine intelligence coming through. But thank you for that. Yeah, I really want to always share my best thinking, my best tips, my biggest lessons, because that's what I'm here for. I feel like it's so important for me and all of us to share the gems that we have within and share the medicine that we've made from tending and healing our wounds, because that way we help the community, we lift each other up, we help people avoid those pitfalls that if I had had a life coach back in the day, like that wouldn't have gone down. I fell, scraped my knee, and I had to heal that and heal the scar. And now I'm gonna see you going down the same road and be like, "Yo, avoid that path. You're gonna trip right there, and it's not gonna be cute. So don't go down that road. Like choose this one because
Yeah.
why not? Like That's just the vibe, community. We have to have community like over competition. There's
I love
people out there
that.
that will literally see people going down that path and be like, yeah, I hope they trip and fall and it's worse than it was for me.
I just had something come to mind because that was my mentality way back when, especially when I first left my abusive relationship. Because I remember there was a moment where my lawyer hit me up and was like, hey, so apparently his next boo thing is filing for protective order. And their lawyer got in touch with me to ask if you want to testify against him. And I was like, nope. If I had to do it by myself, they have to do it by themselves. That was just me like thinking that like I
Oh,
can't.
wow.
Yeah,
So he kept doing the same thing.
at least one other time that I know of.
Yeah. And we don't even know before, but dang. I think that that was a protective measure and a trauma response. I think that you probably hadn't like had full time to like process and integrate the lessons, and you were a victim of that person. And victims need time to heal and like fill their cup and recoup their sense of self before they can be of service to other people.
Yeah.
Like you can't be wounded. Like, yes, there is a thing about wounded healer. I think it's Chiron or whatever. But anywho's, I don't know enough about it to speak on it. But it was still too fresh. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't like
Yeah.
judge yourself around that, because that part is a super unique thing. But maybe not. Maybe it could be applied to like other parts of your life. But that's interesting. Thanks for sharing that. I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
you leveled up. The glow up is super real. And like that, it's that's how you know you've actually grown, when you can call yourself out for the past BS that you did and how you
Absolutely.
used to be. And that's all I do. I'm like, I was an angry person. I was not nice. Like I can call myself out because I don't have any shame around it anymore, because I have done all the work. I have invested thousands upon thousands of dollars and hours and energy and travel to places to heal all of this, like heal the shadow parts, so that my
Yeah.
light can be brighter and not be bogged down by the BS, by the trauma, by all the bad things that happened. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but
That's
that's cool. That's how you know you glowed up.
there's a prime example of how a session with her would go.
And I've never said that before on any other podcast. I've never talked about this before. But to circle back, yes, I do have, I think, 6 or 7 like podcast appearances, and I have the playlist on my link in bio if you want to get to know me. Some of the early ones are so long winded, and I was not as on point as I am now. So forgive me for a baby podcast guest, Vero, but they're still on point. They're still powerful. I just be talking a lot. And I'm like, girl, get to the point.
That's funny that you think that when you're hearing back, but then I bet like me, for example, I don't think that. I'm just like, Vero, talk more. Like keep going.
The one that I'm talking about was my friend Carla Catalan Day has a podcast called Inspector Mama. And her question was, how did you get here to being a life coach and retreat host? And I was like, so I was born in Queens, New York, like from birth, bitch. Like, I don't know if that was her question, but I was like, I'm the daughter of Salvadorian immigrants and I'm the oldest of 3. And my parents moved to LA. And I literally gave like my life story, which is cool because it's out there now and I haven't done on other shows. And,
Right.
but I was just like, as I'm listening to it, I was like, cringe, OMG, like, girl, you could have just talked about like how you became a life coach. Like, you didn't have to go from birth and where your parents came from, but also it is relevant. So I don't
Yes,
know, you
it
know?
is. So there you go. If you want to hear her whole life story,
She split it up into 2 episodes, girl, because it was so long. I was like, whoopsies, my bad. But now there's 2 episodes, right? And that one's all about self-love also, because this is just what I've been talking about, living, embodying, and teaching for years. So yeah, that one is, I think it's called Self-Love with Vero Estrada. So Yeah, DM me or Roxy or comment on the show notes and we'll send you the link.
Yes.
Shout out to Carla for trusting me to be a guest on her show. I love that BZ so much.
The two part, I listened to both parts. I think I even sent it to a friend and was like, bro, like she's still spitting out gems. Check this out and sending it over. But like you said, you're looking back, calling yourself out because that's a part of being able to grow and who you are at this point, like being able to say like, okay, I learned that. I don't need to go way deep into the question. I could just surface level it at times.
Because
So,
the gems will come out, like
oh yeah,
sometimes you
for
just got to
sure.
be like, bam, bam, bam. And then through the conversation. And that's what I did really well on Good Vibes, Thick Thighs. I just had my succinct, this is what I do, this is who I am. And then through the conversation and the questions you, Andrea, asked me, you got more of like my background and the real, like raw, like what happened? How did your life fall apart? Ooh, tell us everything.
And
So
I feel like
yeah.
that's how you can tell who's genuine. Because I know a lot of people may talk the talk, but in the background they don't walk the walk. And you being like yourself, you could tell in all those moments where you're just talking and stuff, like you stand by the same morals and values you've shown throughout every episode, even the baby guest Vero episodes, like because that's what you like envisioned for yourself. That's what you stand for, and that's what you ride with and rock with, which I am right there by your side cheering you on, like, yes, give me more.
Yes. Yes, you are absolutely correct. I got chills because and thank you for seeing me. Oh my God, am I gonna cry? But you're right. Because every time I hear, sometimes I go and binge listen all my episodes because self-love, but I listen to them and it's always the same themes. It's always the same key clarity, understanding. It's deep. It's like transformational. It's about so many things and ultimately about self-love and like just taking care of yourself and loving yourself so much that you're willing to do like that gritty shadow work and call yourself out, right? So
Yes.
like it's so funny because I hear sometimes like episodes and I'm like, I should have said that. And then bam, that's literally the next thing I said. And I was like, yes, bitch, you did it. And I'm like, yes, yes, I am who I am. Now I'm more experienced because I've coached so many more
Right.
people and evolved, but like I still was bad bitch from like first podcast episode, and
I
before.
agree. I agree. And you keep rolling and keep going with it. So hopefully the theme of today's episode, which is what I want like the guests to have like an open platform to be able to speak on, is resilience. Because even the baby accomplishments and the little accomplishments that we may overlook, it's like helping us grow and be resilient and persevere in life and like embark in like next level challenges and stuff. So people that hear you may think like Vero, like, damn, she's got it figured out type of thing. But we'll start with first, to you, what does resilient mean? Like what does that embody?
Resilience is the ability, and it's actually a skill that you can develop. It's the ability to stay focused on your course of action, stay focused on your goal, no matter what obstacles present themselves on your way to reaching and achieving the goal. Anytime we are in pursuit of any type of leveling up or pursuit of anything, it could be a
Mhm.
material thing, it could be a mindset thing, it could be a relationship thing, it could be anything, a career, anything. We are going to stumble and fall, and sometimes those falls are going to be way gnarlier than others, and sometimes we'll just trip, or sometimes we'll see like what's about to come up and you'll avoid it. But there are going to be challenges and obstacles, and resiliency is the ability to like dust yourself off and keep going
Yes.
towards the goal.
I think that illustrates it in like the perfect way, honestly. For your story of resilience, you mentioned your path to this like entrepreneur. Okay, I'm going to butcher that. Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial also.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship.
So you mentioned in before this recording bouncing back after a tower moment. So the tower moment, I feel like we all come about different tower moments in different parts of our lives. And to be able to bounce back, like you said, it's not something that resilience is not something we're inheriting. It's something that we learn. It's something that can by experience and stuff. So when you had a bounce back from your tower moment, which would be getting fired from what you thought was your dream job, right? And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that moment for anybody could be so devastating. How were you able to flip the script, so to say, to not stay in within that like muddy waters of shit, I just got fired?
So, a few things. I think sometimes to touch on like the resiliency being something that we develop on our own, I think we also do inherit some resiliency from like our ancestors and caretakers, especially as women of color. Our ancestors, they had resiliency and had to endure so much without a lot of like the luxuries that we have today. So I don't know if resiliency is one of those like epigenetic traits that gets passed down in your DNA, but as I'm talking about it, it probably is because of the study they did with the Jewish community and Holocaust survivors and like their descendants and all that stuff. It was actually around like intergenerational trauma, but I digress. So I do think that we can inherit some resilience. Sometimes we just have it and we don't know that we're being resilient. So, to answer your question now, I did not know that I was being resilient when that happened. It's not until months and years later that I can look back on that experience and see what I created from that, that it made me realize, oh, like I am resilient, like I am confident. I can stick to my goals and achieve them. And that moment was so hard because like I had to have so much resilience to get that dream job, something I built for like 12 years and worked towards, and then have it go down the way that it did. It was like super devastating. And so how I came out of that was I cried it out. I did what I used to do back then. I used to blame people for situations. I used to see whose fault is it that this happened to me. But the worst part about that was that I blamed myself more than anybody. Because looking back, I was like, oh my God, I didn't speak up for myself. I didn't advocate for myself. I was having all these other mofos' backs, and they clearly did not have my back when they
Right.
talked about what happened. And I could have literally spoken like just facts and thrown people under the bus and saved my own ass. And I didn't. So like I had a lot of regret about like not having my own back, you know? So I assessed, okay, what part of this am I responsible for? There had been some issues that I had been called out in at that dream job before the whole thing went down. And I knew that even though the specific situation was a bunch of corporate politics, I was like, let me take ownership for my part in it and look at myself and the parts of myself that I don't like and the parts of myself that really need to change so that this doesn't happen to me again.
Right.
So that was the first thing I did. I just spent time with myself and journaling and listening to like personal development, like life coaches on YouTube, reading books, podcasts. I just like immersed myself in personal development and was able to see myself from all these different perspectives and angles. And I was like, oh, this is why you were like this. This is why you did that. This is why you didn't do that. And my mind was just consistently blown. But that's how I made my way. I built myself back up from that tower moment. And do you want to explain what a tower moment is for folks who aren't familiar with the term?
That's true because I we talk about it like, oh yeah, a tower moment. Like everybody should know
It's
what it
like
is.
casual now. I know.
In tarot, there's a card to explain the illustration of it. It's a tower with like blaze at the top, right?
And two people are falling from it, from the window to their
That's right.
demise.
Oh my
It's a
God.
gnarly card. I have chills because I think we just Nicole just explained it at the Jamaica retreat. Also, like a lot of people don't know what a tower moment is, but it references the tarot deck and the specific card of a tower that's on fire, has a little window, and there's two people falling from it. And a tower moment, it's literally you can take it as meaning rock bottom. You hit some sort of rock bottom, bitch, and it's freaking hard. And everybody has a tower moment. And as you get older, probably multiple tower moments where you get to fall completely apart and then rebuild and make a better version of yourself if you so choose.
Right. But then after you survive your tower moment, like where your life pretty much you feel like it's in shambles, basically, like, and you have to rebuild yourself. I feel like it, you look back, or at least in one of my tower moments, I look back like, fuck, that was some beautiful ass chaos. Like, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person I was. I wouldn't have gained more resilient that I did and being able to overcome that like difficult moment. That card, like she said, it's just like the details in it. It's just like, fuck. Like people, I feel like people are scared to pull that card within themselves when they're having like a reading. But I feel like pain and problems can be only temporary if you're able to lift yourself and be able to overcome whatever big change, chaos, or lessons that you're going through.
And I'm going to do a life coaching plug right now because the reason that you are able to look back and call it beautiful chaos is in big part that session where we reframed what happened
Yes.
to you. And it was really hard to come up with the way that that happened for you. There's two levels of resilience. Like you're on level 10. Level 5 is where this is what typically happens with the human experience when you don't have community and support and like a guidance. The bad thing happened, you handled it, you pushed through, you moved on.
Right.
You
Where
can
then
look
it,
back at it and you're like, you still feel some kind of sting. You still kind of
that's
hate that
true.
that happened. You're still like, fuck that. Like, that was trash. Like, there's still like some energetic charge to it.
That's so
And
true.
it's typically a strong negative energetic charge to the situation that you had to be resilient in. Because, yes, you developed resilience. You did it. You made it through. You didn't die.
Yeah.
But that glow up, the level up is looking back at it and being like, damn, I can appreciate that I went through that and I can appreciate who it helped me become. And I can appreciate that I was really strong and courageous and like hype yourself up about what you did back then, even without the tools, like the self mastery tools. You know what I mean?
And it's funny that you mentioned that session where I had that like eyes wide open, like, okay, there were a couple sessions where I was stubborn and where I was like, she's really making me do this. Like, Vero's really making me do this. But you're right, because that one on one session with you, where you turned it into beautiful chaos that I was looking back on, where, yeah, it sucks it happened to me, but because it happened for me, I'm able to like do some of the things that I've accomplished now, mindset wise and strength wise, and all
Mm-hmm.
that. And giving the platform for guests to share their story of resilience. To start off, I, on a solo episode, spoke on the whole leaving that toxic relationship. Now we're doing another fucking full circle here with you being, you being the second story of resilience, my first guest. And it's already tying back to my story because you're right. You were the one that, like, let's revamp the way I'm seeing it so it could, like, so it's not constantly a self sabotage type of like thought process.
Correct. And again, this is like what happens when you have a life coach. Like it's in vivo right now. Like you're seeing the process too.
Yeah.
The other really cool thing you said, because I'm resilient because of what happened, I've been able to change a lot of things and reach my goals, like mindset and like your way of being, but also material goals. Like you were able to buy a house by yourself, and for your family, partially because of that bullshit that happened.
That's so true.
Like that was the move. And you were like, no, I'm doing this on my own. I'm not bringing a freaking cosigner. I'm not like, I can do this
Hmm.
because you had been so hurt by somebody who was meant to love and protect you forever and ever. Amen. And they absolutely failed. And not only that, they did the opposite where they hurt you. You didn't feel safe. And so then you had to create safety for yourself and for your boys, and you were not going to outsource that anymore. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's another lesson that happened. And like, again, you don't have to know that this is what's happening as you're being resilient. But when you sit with me, we will look at your life and pull out these gems. Like you did that, Roxy. Like, and also not never to say like, oh, the trauma you suffered, like it was a part of your journey. Like you had to go. No, no, never excusing any type of trauma, any type of big T, little t, any type of like abuse, nada, right? Like, no, it did not have to happen to me so I could be
Right.
resilient, period, full stop. Just that is not okay. We do not accept it. And we are going to break cycles so that does not continue to happen to other people in the next generations and help people heal. I just had to make sure we say that because we're not going to like, vindicate like abusive people and situations and all the things because it's part of their journey. Like it's not.
It's not. It doesn't have to be. It literally doesn't
Correct.
have to be. And I feel like that's a huge part and why I want people to be able to like even celebrate their small wins because not all the bullshit that happens in our life, like it sucks it happens to us, but I feel like you said, like it sucks it happens. We're not going to say like it had to happen. But because it happened already and we can't change the past, we're going to
Mhm.
change the outlook on how it impacts us.
Right, exactly. And that's the next sentence I was going to say is like, but unfortunately, the fact is that it happened. And so we have the power to change what we make it mean about our
Yeah.
lives, about the world, about how we're meant to be treated or not treated, about people in general, like because those types of situations leave a mark and can be a wound that if you act like, oh, it's fine, nothing happened, it's like you're letting this wound heal kind of all jacked up. Like you put some dirt in it and called it a day, and then it's still bothering you and gets infected later. And then next thing you know, you're in another toxic relationship because you didn't analyze it and sit with it, you know? But when
Yeah.
you analyze and sit with it, it's like you're going to that wound and really tending to it. And deciding I'm not going to make this mean that I'm a victim. I'm
Yep.
not going to make this mean that I can't trust men or women. I'm not going to make this mean that I'm not lovable because all these things are like creeping in our subconscious. But when we sit together, then you can really like look at it from different angles and do the uncomfortable thing. Like I just remember you being so uncomfortable. I didn't think you were being stubborn. The way that I guess you show you're stubborn is you just stay quiet and you were just like, and I was like, I know this is uncomfortable, but this is why you pay me all the money. And this is why
Yeah.
you block off Friday mornings. Like, we're going to do this. Cause, like, hello, don't you want to get like all your money's worth? Like, a year
Yeah.
later, you're still unlocking the power and the lessons from that 1 hour session that you were like, this sucks. She's really making me do this. Yes, bitch, I am because I love you. And it sucks. And I've been in your shoes. I've done the work. I have not like spiritually bypassed anything. That's a lot of trauma to work and process through and reframe, bitch. Like that's a lot. So I'm like, if I can do it, you can do it. Like lovingly, respectfully, with consent, with your consent, we are going to go to the uncomfortable place. My life coach calls it the swamp. We're going to go to the swamp. Okay. But that's where like the magic happens, but we all avoid it. Nobody wants to go to the swamp because it sucks there. It's super uncomfortable. And as soon as I get in there, I'm like, I need to get out. I'm done with this conversation. I'm good. They're not the person for me. Or like, the swamp is the swamp. Like you said, like that muddy water that you're in after a tower moment, you're in it and it's gross and horrible. And you just want to get out and move on.
And I feel like now with you saying a swamp and me saying muddy waters, it just goes back to the like why I just love lotus flowers.
I'm so glad I didn't say it, but yes. And that's why there's such an important symbol, I think, in the spiritual, like growth, personal development community. Like it's so special, but yes.
Okay, so fun fact, my cover right now for the podcast is in the works. My dope ass friend from Cali, Neil, owner of Street Rebirth, the one who illustrated these Frida and Selena that you also have right there. He's gonna incorporate a lotus flower in my podcast cover because of that same reason. Because I told him, I was like, yes, I'm gonna be all over the place in my podcast, throwing out episodes on this, that, whatnot. But the main focus is gonna be how like people overcome such hardships and like gain this like sense of like shit, I did that, like resilience. Basically they're able to overcome the hardships and still manage to get to the other side. And I made mention of the freaking lotus flower. And so
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna throw that in for me. So like it makes me think like, okay, yeah, I needed that.
Yeah, you're in alignment. You're on the right path. Yeah, when you like have this awareness and you're in integrity with like what you're meant to be doing in the world, like the signs and the synchronicities are like unbelievable. They really
Yeah,
are.
they
And
are.
there's no way we could have planned to talk about this. And like I wanted to mention the lotus flower and I was like, I'll save it for a little bit. And I'm so glad you brought it up because it's perfect. And I was thinking about it. And there's some people that I do feel like I've been starting to communicate telepathically with. So I'm going to put that
Are
out
we
there for
right there?
us. It's happening. It's developing. We're developing the skill and the trust. But it's been really dope that I text people and they're like, I was just about to text you or I was just thinking about you. And yeah, vice versa, however it goes. But we're like thinking about each other and then we reach out. So now I've just been wanting to do that more and more because I'm just like, if somebody pops into my mind, it's for a reason. And it means I should like reach out.
I totally agree. Yeah. Signs and synchronicities, you just got to pay attention. What did you say the other time? Or else the universe is going to yell at you.
Oh, yeah. The universe speaks in whispers at first. And if you don't listen, then it starts getting louder and louder. And then it screams, which typically equals a tower moment, which equals a rock bottom moment. So if you're getting like little hints about stuff, whether it's working with Roxy to get an oracle reading, to get some clarity, some numerology guidance, some tarot, like you're thinking about working with me or working with a life coach, this is your sign. And start to get clear if you're getting nudges from the universe for better or for worse and get support. It's for the good and the bad. Because then when we get the nudges, the whispers from the universe, and when you're in tune and in alignment with yourself, like you are, like I am, we listen real quick. Oh, I should text Roxy. And literally you were texting me at the same time. Really good things happen. Really good things happen. So that's what I'm saying. It's for better or for worse. Like if you're hating your job already, if you're not liking this, and then they added more work to you and they didn't pay you, these are all whispers about the same damn thing. Like go ahead, like get ready to leave that position. Get your resume ready. Get ready. Because if you don't, guess what's going to happen? Some more trash and or you're going to get fired and you weren't ready because you didn't listen to the nudges from the universe. That's on
Yeah.
you, playa. That's on you.
Preach.
Like that's just what it is. And I'm like, and I see it happening to some people close to me who are not as like spiritual and aligned and like all the woo things that we are. And I'm like, you need to do something like now. Like you needed to do something 6 months ago, but now lovingly, respectfully, and with consent, I'm going to tell you, like, you need to do this immediately
Yeah.
because I see something as not good. Something terrible is going to fuck you up is going to happen. And I don't want you to go through that with love. Please listen to me. And that's, I mean, I don't know what else I'm going to do, but
Right.
stay tuned for the update on the homie text, but like praying for people to listen and wake up.
You can only do so much at a certain point.
Yeah, we can't save people. That's the other thing we talk about all the time. We get to save ourselves, period. That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody else has to save themselves too. And as a coach, like that's not my job. My job is to give you the tools to save yourself first from your mind's negativity and being hypercritical and anxiety and worrying and overthinking and get your mind right so that once I give you the tools, you have the capacity and the understanding of how to use them to save yourself. Obviously, I'm here if I'm in a lifeboat with a freaking life, como se dice, saver, and you're drowning, I will save you. Yes, duh. But the whole point of a coaching relationship and the whole point of our life is to get that freaking resilience and ability to save ourselves because we are with ourselves forever and ever. Like we get to be our own best friends, our own saviors. I'm not waiting for Captain Save-A-Ho to come help me out with my life. And I can't wait for an employer to see my worth and pay me all the money and me just not say anything. Like, no, I have to speak up for myself.
Yeah.
No, like I'm not going to let like toxic men or friends in my life because they're bringing something to the table that I don't have for myself or that like some shiny new object. Nah, playa, like no, I'm not here for it. I'm just not here for it because I know I can take care of myself and that I love myself on such a deep level that I don't need it from them. But if the love they bring is awesome and authentic and adds major value to my life, I'm like, yes, bring it over. Let's do this together. But I'm never out there looking for somebody to complete me.
You don't have that void.
Absolutely not. I was already born whole. Like I was already a whole ass person. I am a whole ass person all by myself. Like if I've learned anything from all the challenges, it's that I am a powerhouse and I can handle whatever comes my way, even when people come at me sideways.
In the beginning, when we first started talking about resilience, you even said this is things that like our ancestors, we have possibly inherited resilience in
Mm-hmm.
us, the fight in us. Do you see your parents as like those prime examples? Have you seen them where they've set examples where you're like, fuck, I want to be like them when I grow up?
Yeah, they are some of the most resilient people that I know. And this reminds me, I actually did a podcast interview that's not on Spotify with Perez the advisor. And he has a Instagram based podcast called Find Your Purpose. And he interviewed me and he said, who inspires you? And like the first people were my parents because they have been through it. And I see where they're at now. And I'm like, wow, you guys have come so far individually and together in your relationship, in your business, in everything. And I think it sucks that they had to suffer so much being immigrants from El Salvador. Like my mom, my grandma, and my uncle all came at the same time, fleeing the civil war in El Salvador. And my mom was 14 and she had to cross the border like how you see in the movies. And then they got caught at El Rio Grande and got taken to jail, got separated from grandma because, that's how we do out here.
Yeah.
And, when they said we're seeking asylum, blah, 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 it's dangerous. Our lives were in danger, la, la, la. My uncles were already here. They were able to, like, okay, cool. You're free to go with your family, whatever. And then my dad's story of crossing the border into the United States is so scary and traumatic that he doesn't even want to tell us. And he's just
Oh,
like, I almost
wow.
died. It was the worst few days of my life. I literally almost died. Someday, perhaps we'll get to hear the story, but that's literally just the beginning. That's like a little tiny snippet of like the most gnarly parts of their lives. And there was a bunch of stuff before that and after that that I witnessed, that I was a part of, that was so big T traumatizing that, man, so many people don't come back from that kind of stuff. So many humans give in to addiction, using
Yeah.
drugs, alcohol. Like, it's very sad because it's a mental health thing, right? When you go through so many challenges that are really like, actually traumatizing, not just like, I didn't get promoted at work. Like, that's a challenge. But trauma and like having to have resilience to fight for your freaking life, okay, that's next level. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So seeing their resilience in their real life, in all the aspects of it, helped me get perspective on my life and my challenges, which were, I'm not getting paid enough at my corporate job. And like, okay, bitch, whatever. But did you die? No. Okay, suck it up and go talk to the bosses. Go do your freaking best. Have all the proof of how you're kicking ass and taking names and all the numbers, and go advocate for yourself. Because I knew my life, even though it seemed so hard in the moment, it was not that bad. It
Yeah.
was not that bad because I just have to look at my parents and see, like, 2008 was not kind to them when the market, the Great Recession happened. It was another massive challenge for them. And to
Yeah.
see where they are now, I'm just like, dope. Like, you guys did that. Congratulations. And the crazy thing is, like, they don't even like realize, like, they don't really realize it. They don't acknowledge it because they did the level 5 resilience. They just survived it, lived through it, moved on. Also, like a survival, like response, trauma
Mm-hmm.
response. Yes, 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 because they're not into this work like I am. But I see their resilience at the level 10, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
like you really overcame. Wow, you like had all the things, but they don't see it at the same way that I do. And they're just kind of like, of course I did that. Like I had to. Like, what do you
Right. We
mean?
did what we had to do to survive type of thing.
Yeah, long-winded answer, but yeah, parents came through, still coming through in the clutch still this day.
That's so inspiring that you're blessed to still have both of them. They're here, they've taught you things, and here you are excelling and taking their lessons and morals on to the fucking next level. Like, here you are doing it. And they sound like they're super humble as well.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are, like, let me give you credit where credit's due. Like, bro, you did not just do what you had to do. Like, you fucking overcame that shit. Like,
Yeah. And now, like, what I see, like, you're thriving. But again, it's like I have a different lens that I'm looking at them through. Yes, I'm also their kid. I mean, it's so deep and complex because, like, I've done so much inner child healing and like forgiveness and compassion because our relationship was not always like on point like this. There was a long time where I was not close to them because I couldn't deal with what happened. I was like, nope, I'm not here for it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm busy achieving all my career dreams. I'll send you guys money, but I'm not gonna have a conversation with you because of my own evolution, because of inner child healing work and self-forgiveness work, all the things. I see them now. Oh no, am I gonna cry? Like I could see them as like, oh, you guys are humans and y'all just had so many gnarly experiences that you actually haven't technically healed from. You just are just operating just because it's not a thing that we do in our community, at least not for that generation, not for
right.
everybody. I mean, there are people who are my parents' age who are woke and are working with a life coach and yay, but not everybody gets that or wants
Yeah.
it, and they're doing just fine. So what are we gonna do? We get to lead by example all the time. But if you come, when you come to the wedding, you'll get to meet them and talk to them. And they love meeting my friends. Love.
I'm trying to speak it to existence so me and the fiance can be there. At that time, I'd be saying me and my husband.
Yes. Yes. Yes, ma'am. You're
So for
still going to
those
be a
listening,
newlywed at that point.
yeah, who knows? We'll probably, conceive there at your.
Correct. That's what I was just thinking. I was like, just go on now and start with the family building process because it'll be 3 months after the wedding. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's manifest it. Let's call that in for us because that's gonna be like so dope. I'm also
I
manifesting that I'm coming to your wedding. So I'm like
Yes.
literally like Vero, you have to do the work because like you need to go to Texas in December. And Nicole is like, I'm talking to her too, so we can go together or whatever. But yeah, girl, like we'll make it happen. I have faith.
Me too. We're trying to do the work and make it happen, which is funny because so when you and I met, we were just in these relationships, like no biggie. And then you were there through my engagement. And then I was like, all right, bitch, now your turn. And then there you go, getting
I'm like,
engaged.
we're both whole ass fiancés.
Yeah.
Where's your ring?
Right
Yes.
here. That's right. And it's funny because I feel like we have this like level of like, fuck, like here we are wedding planning and bouncing ideas off each other and bouncing like stress off each other and like venting, like,
Right.
dude, this is happening. This is happening. Like, and it goes to a whole different level of like bonding with you. And I'm like, bro, this is like the best person to have this like wedding talk with. Like,
Yeah. I love it because you're so like you're such a planner and you're so like I don't know, you're prepared all the time. So there's a lot of things that I'm very prepared with, but this wedding planning deal, I'm like, oh God, like I'm like kind of avoiding it, but when I have questions, I could just ask you, or you just automatically share something with me, and I'm like, oh, wait, that's how you're doing it? Oh, okay, bet. Like, and then I just go and do the thing that you said because I'm like, I trust Roxy. She's on point as fuck. Like, I don't need to extra research it. I don't even care. Like, I trust you. So I'm like, okay, this is my plan now. I literally told my future mother-in-law like my plan for the flowers because of what you told me. And I'm just like, I feel no anxiety about it anymore just because like you already kind of like you're ahead of me because your wedding's before mine.
yeah.
So I'm like, tell me all the things and not to just like mooch off of your energy and your work, but it is just fun talking about like the wedding gown shopping. And like you told me, make sure you eat, like make
Yeah.
sure this, that. And then I did that, you know? But if I were ahead of you, I would have told you the same stuff. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like we would have definitely shared notes anyway.
For sure. And that's bringing it back to the beginning of what you said, where you're like you go through a fucking pothole. Are you going to fill in the pothole so the next person doesn't like crash into it and bump through it? Or are you just going to ignore it and, oh, well, like she's going to have to deal with it, you know? And boom,
Like I
like
had to
this is
deal
what
with
we're doing.
it.
It. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, do not go over this pothole. Fucking put food in your stomach.
Correct, correct. You're like your energy's gonna go down if you don't eat, and like literally the whole plan was go to the first bridal shop, try on the gowns, go to brunch with plenty of time, and then go to the other shop. And like that's exactly like what we did. And I was just like, no, we're not getting in a bad mood because it was a long day. It was
Yeah.
such a my feet hurt for like 3 days after because I was in heels like 12 hours, which was like, what a dodo. You should have brought chanclas. But anyway, I told you after, and you're like, oh, I wore tennis shoes, or you told
Yeah.
me like you wore flats, and I was like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to be cute. I'm always trying to be the cutest. And like, of course, like that happened, but I should have literally brought sandals, but whatever. No regrets. Actually, yes, regrets on the shoes, but it was
So
an
there you
epic
go.
day.
For those bride to be hearing, there's another pothole. Do not wear heels. Take them with you, but don't wear them.
And you know what is duh, they have heels at the bridal shop in your size that are white. They have the shoes there. I saw them laying around and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even have to wear high heels.
And then my thought process was like, isn't that the whole reason of the like the platform they have you step on? So you could be a little bit taller and the gown falls more.
Actually, I hadn't even thought about that. Maybe.
And
I
then
thought
I
it was
was
also
also,
so that you're elevated, so like the person can like adjust your dress or
oh,
whatever.
yeah, that makes sense.
But it could also be for that reason. I don't know.
Because there was times where I stepped off of it to see how it fit and because again, okay, if you're mad about this, you won't be the first person, or if you feel some type of way, but I literally want to buy myself white, all white Converse that are embroidered, that have like the embroidery
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to wear after the ceremony, the whole
Mm-hmm.
night, because that's just who I am. Like, I want to be dancing on the dance floor. I can't do that in heels. Like,
My friend did that. She had Converse and they're embroidered and she put like rhinestones on them. I was just looking at these like tennis shoes that were customized with like all these rhinestones for weddings. And I was like, man, it would be so sick to wear like some like Dunks or Jordans or what I like to wear. And then this other part of me, the bougie part, is like, no, like just get comfortable high heels and you're gonna regret it. But I still haven't decided. I'm still doing research on the shoes. But yes. So yes, quick tangent on sharing tips
tips. Yeah.
on planning a wedding and having somebody real and that likes to get shit done on point giving you advice. So yeah.
Has a student just became the teacher? Say what?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was literally gonna say, see, now you're paying me back for all the breakthroughs with your own gifts, you know? You're not trying to like literally life coach me, but you're like, bitch, here's where I can help you, and here you go. And I'm like, sweet, let's go. But sometimes I do feel like you life coach me. I know I've said that to you before. I'm like, wait, what? Is that a breakthrough?
Girl, that's the work that's showing how well your work has. Like, I'm like walking, talking, living proof. Like, she is the life coach. Like,
Thank
there's still
you.
things where I think like where like gems that you've told me, and then I bedazzle it.
Correct. Yes, you get to put your own spin on it because yes, that's the whole point of you having the knowledge now. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole point. Like my coach, she always goes like I didn't invent this. I learned it from somebody else who learned it from somebody else who probably learned it from like Buddha or Jesus Christ or like some master, right? But she's like, so I'm not taking credit for this. I think it's kind of chill how she's like, I'm not going to basically like name every single person that's been my coach or my teacher or my healer or whatever, because like the point is not to always just be giving credit. It's like to share the tool with the person. That's the most important thing. Like, I don't care. And then anyway, when I get the tool, I'm going to put my own spin on it too.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be awesome and even more special, right? Or it's going to be what you needed to hear, not exactly like
Yes.
how I got it, you know?
That's so true.
So, yeah, it's great when we share knowledge and resources and then we all put our own spin on it because then it's like customized and I love some customized shit. It's one of a kind.
Yes. So we literally could talk for hours and it still be
Which
like,
we have.
yeah. And it still be like in full circle of what we started talking about. But I do want to like wrap up your story of resilience with like one takeaway from what you came out with after. What was that one takeaway that you'd like filling in the pothole for the next person? What's that one thing?
One of the first things I did, I as we were talking, it came back to me. Like there was my first OG life coach I ever had. She had a membership group coaching program that was $97 a month. And I had a call with them and I told them like I just got let go. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm flailing. And I joined the life coaching community, the group coaching community that she had. And I actually, because I had no job, I did all the worksheets, I did all the work. And that's how I started taking care of myself. So if you're having a tower moment, if you're going through it, number one is like, do not try to go at it alone. Find your circle, find your people, find a person, a friend that you trust that lives life in an exemplary way. Don't go to the most toxico person in your whole life just because they're going to listen to you because they like feed off of that shit. But anyway, find someone who's living a well-lived life, aka like me or Roxy, or somebody that you really look up to and ask for help. Get humble and ask for help and support and be like, I am going through something and I really don't know what to do. And the next level of that, if there's no person in your life that actually has like the emotional bandwidth to help you or like the skills to help you, then invest in getting support. Get a therapist, get a life coach, get a healer, like a psychiatrist, like whatever it is, like invest in yourself to get out of that hole, get out of the mud, get out of the swamp, like sooner rather than later. Because when I tried to go at it alone, because I had shame or whatever, I blamed myself, it took me so much longer to find success again than when I finally was like, I can't do this by myself and I need help. And like my friend Vani said, like, I'm not going to suffer in silence, you know? And even if it's like talking to your girlfriend or your homie about what you're going through, maybe they're not the person who's going to help you, but they know someone and they're like, oh, so and so was just going through this, or so and so just like actually wrote about this. So, like, that's also inspiration. Like, if you're thinking of sharing your story and you're like, oh, somebody's already done it, or like the market's saturated, or who cares what I have to say? Like, no, bitch, share your story. Like, do the thing that your heart is calling you to do because your experience is going to help somebody else that's
Yeah.
going through it. Either did not like see the pothole and mess their shit up, or they're like on their way there, you know, or they're coming out of it and they're like, oh, okay, there's like somebody who already made it through like kind of similar thing. And this is how we heal. We get to heal and build and overcome in community first.
I love all that you said because I feel like community is that whole it takes a village to
Mm-hmm.
it's this is the perfect like example like you said like you need to see that you have people and lean on them because that's one thing that like I had struggled with before like I'm not going to ask for help. I can't like all this shit like no. I think that's a really bold and courageous move for people to be able to say okay, you know what? Me, I need help.
Because
With
it's humbling también.
yes,
It's
very true.
courageous, it's vulnerable, and it's humbling. All the things that are hard.
And we talked so long, and you are right. We didn't even go into the depths of what struggles you had building your empire. I'm gonna call
Ah, from your lips to
it.
God's ears, baby girl. Please, Lord, let this be an empire because it's definitely worthy of being an empire because the amount of people I want to help is not just like thousands, it's millions. Like, I really want to leave like an awesome mark by sharing the medicine I've made and all the skills and everything I've learned. Like, this is not for me to be the baddest bitch on the planet. This is for all of us to like and make it look like it's unattainable. You know what I mean? No, like I'm here to show you
Yes.
like it's real, it's accessible. That's why I do what I do. And you can be happy. You can be happy. You can be happy. Like I'm like Oprah giving out like happiness. That's the vibe. That's like what I really want to do. But thank you. But I know I'm feeling like we're gonna have a whole ass other episode. But
Yes.
in a I'm already inviting myself back. I'm like, hi. Uh in a
You know you're always
nutshell,
welcomed.
yeah, like yesterday, you're like, how rude of me to just call. How rude of me to just invite myself on for another episode. Tea. No shame. The quick and dirty lessons or the resilience I've developed in being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, being a solopreneur, to be honest, it's like different. And I'm selling a service. Like I can't, I'm not selling you this pen. I'm not selling you this. I'm selling you inner transformation.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Where do I buy that at Target? Where can I order it on Amazon? No, you cannot. So it's a whole different level. It's a whole different skill set. It's been a whole thing to learn how to do this and be in my own power and like really value what I'm doing. But what I'll say is, again, it goes back to community. I had to ask for help from my parents, like when I started this business. I had just gone through some crazy shit, which I think is in one of the Good Vibes Like Guys episodes. And I came to Atlanta humbled with my tail between my legs, thinking this is just a quick stop and they're going to just help me like while I build this business and then I'm going to go back to LA, whatever, whatever. But the first thing is like ask for help, like ask for community in all the ways that you actually don't even think that you need, like you might need. Like whether it's somebody else who's also a friend and a business owner who's like 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, 2 years ahead, 6 months ahead. Like you need all of those folks and don't be
Yeah.
afraid to ask for help and say, hey, I'm really passionate about this thing. And I love what you're doing and be authentic and genuine and know what they're doing. And then obviously you like compliment people, you see them and you ask for support and or absorb all their free content, right? So asking for community, asking like for support and community and building that community for the business is also super important. And I think just looking back and acknowledging like the milestones. Like there was a time when I was doing life coaching for free in exchange for testimonials. There was a time where I literally I felt like I almost had to beg people to like work with me.
Yeah.
It was like so crazy. And there was a time where my coaching packages were 10 sessions. They are 24 sessions now minimum, bitch. Like I have come so far. Like my rate, like my first paying client, it was like $75 an hour because I gave her a 50% discount. And that rate at that time was 150. And then it was 200 and now it's 250. And like it's going to continue to go up because that's the evolution, that's where I'm at and I see the value and like but just acknowledge like first don't be mad about wherever you're at. Like
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge how far you've actually come and be super proud of yourself and see how resilient you were all those times because I can look back at a bunch of times back that I just wanted to quit and get a job. I was like, this is trash. I hate it here. Like, these people don't know what's up. Like, I'm wasting my time. I'm never going to make all the money. Like, I was just like so ready to quit. And I didn't quit because of my community, because of my friends, because of my clients, because of other people who believed in me and saw my light
Mm-hmm.
and the gifts that I have to share. And shout out to everybody in the Soul family that helped me helped me keep my chin up when all I wanted to do was just like put my head down and cry and quit and just call it a freaking day. Like I
Yeah.
tried it, oh well, it didn't work out. Like that's a real thing that happens with entrepreneurship and like it takes motherfucking time and energy and effort and investments. Like I had to invest in masterminds. I had to get coaches. Like I had to invest in all the things, and actually do the work. Like I can't just throw money at stuff and then not do the modules. Like you got to do it. So just remember it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And don't go at it alone. That's the most important thing. And acknowledge how far you've come. Like there was a time where I never ever imagined I would be an entrepreneur. I was like, corporate life is the best. I love it here. Entrepreneurship is so dumb. I mean, yeah, I was 23, but like I had no idea. And now look at me.
You found your epic greatness and you're helping others find their epic greatness.
Not you using my tagline to make me cry. What? What is happening? Full circle, like Inception.
It's
Literally. I
true.
did find my epic greatness and I keep finding it more and more. That's why it's find your epic greatness. It's not like, it's like, because you got to be looking for it. Like, it's
Yes.
not just going to appear. It's not
Yeah.
discover your epic greatness. Like, my tagline for those of you who don't know, it's find your epic greatness. Because find insinuates that you're looking for it
For
and you
it.
can't like be looking for it without work, without having a life coach by your side, without having your people like hyping you up. You got to be looking for it. You got to be pushing outside the bounds of your comfort zone. But yeah, and just know like running a business is really hard and we'll have a whole other episode on like I think entrepreneurship 101 that would be super helpful because people think
I
like
love that. From
I
one
just
day
want
to
to
the
quit my
next.
job because I hate it. This isn't
Yeah.
my purpose. This isn't my passion. And I'm like, you got a W-2, paid time off, you have benefits, a 401k. Like, I, I'm sorry, what? Like, you're gonna have to build that and pay for all of that when you start your business.
Yeah.
And are you like, who is gonna pay you? What are you making? What's the quality? How much does it cost to make that? Like, what? You
Yeah.
think because you look at our IGs, like, and I'm just posting cute pictures of me at the beach.
It's
Oh, I could do that. I could travel and get paid or whatever. I could be a life coach. I could be whatever. Like, okay. No, you can't. It doesn't work like that. It's blood, sweat, tears, baby.
yes,
But make it
like with
look good
anything.
with anything. Correct. Correct. Just be ready for it to be fucking hard because work is work.
Yeah,
I always say that. This is my dream job, but
it's
also
work.
Also annoying.
Yeah.
Sending out like emails, having to make like whatever, all the things I don't like to do, like things I love to do. Yay. But it's the same with like when I had a job at corporate. Like there was shit that I loved to do and there was other shit that I didn't like to do. But guess what? It was work. Like work is work. So don't expect entrepreneurship to like be like your saving grace and like super cool and fun and easy and immediate success because it's not. Period. Whoever tells you otherwise is lying. They're trying to sell you the dream. Don't buy it. They're trying to sell you the dream. Watch out. Don't go down that road. There's a pothole. But yeah, that's my PSA. We'll talk more
But
about it on
yes,
another one.
we're definitely going to have another one where you go in depth on that because I feel like there's so much people can learn from you in that perspective. But with that being said, you do have some upcoming things happening where people can just like jump in to see the work happen in real life. So recently
Mhm.
you put a post on like you want to do a free webinar. What would be the topic? And you let your IG audience vote. And there I was voting. And I'm super excited that it's happening. It's a free Money 101 webinar coming around the time that
Mhm.
this episode will release. We're
Yeah,
already
so
in
I'm
September.
doing a free Money 101 webinar and I'm getting smarter about the way I deliver it. And because I want it to be evergreen, which means like you can always go and watch it and it makes sense and it helps you. Because I want it to be evergreen, I'm going to record the webinar based on the workshops I've done in the past, add new like cool stuff to it that I've learned since my first Money 101 workshop. And it's going to be on my website and it's going to be available like for free.
I love
And
that.
so that's coming up soon. So I'm calling myself out. I got to do it. I get to do it. I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do the free money 101 webinar. And
You have some mini half day retreats coming up too.
yes, yes. So I'm going to be doing, I now live in Atlanta, but because I have deep connections and roots in LA and Southern California, I'm going to be hosting half day retreats, which I was calling mini retreats. I haven't settled on the name yet, but as I develop them, I'm like, I thought it was going to be a 4 hour event, but it's actually looking like maybe 5 to 6. So I'm like, it's kind of a half day retreat. But I am hosting a series of mini retreats in Southern California, in Atlanta, and we'll be having my first one in Atlanta. If you're in the South or close by, I highly encourage you to come. I have a client coming from North Carolina and it's going to be freaking epic. And I'm creating this so it's a repeatable process for myself and for my clients, past clients, present clients, future clients, because we all need that like life coaching dose at least like once a month where you're
Agree.
in an environment in community where you're healing, purposefully looking at yourself and what could be better. So that's what I want to do. I just want to make these experiences accessible. So I don't know when the Southern California one is going down yet, but it will be coming out soon. So sign up for updates on my website at veroestrada.com. Follow me on Instagram at the Vero Estrada and send me a DM and be like, I want to go to your retreat. Let me know when it's happening. I also have my retreat website, thealchemyretreats.com. But honestly, the best place to get updates from me is going to be Instagram and then my website, veroestrada.com. So come through, sign up for updates. I'm really excited about what's developing here. So that, and I am planning another destination retreat for 2024. So start getting your passports ready. Details are under wraps right now, but you heard it here first. And it's going down probably, around this time next year.
There you go. Expanding your empire, baby girl. You're doing
And you're
it.
right. I'm doing a webinar that's going to be recorded and available for download. I'm doing mini retreats. I'm doing another destination retreat. And of course, taking on more one on one clients. So let's go. Yeah, you're right. That's already a bunch of things. So I'm here for my own success. I'm like, yes,
Yes.
actually, you're
Yes.
doing it.
You are doing it.
You came
I'm gonna have
so
to
far
come.
from charging $0 for life coaching for testimonials to now like a bunch of retreats per year and gangs of clients working with you at least 6 months each. Like, let's go. So yeah, this is pretty huge, actually. Thanks for
Um,
seeing me.
Of course. I'm gonna try to convince you to do one in Texas. A mini retreat in Texas.
I have at least two clients in Texas.
There you
So
go. And we're pretty big. Texas people ride hard. I'm a California girl in heart, but these
yeah.
Texas folks, they're on a whole other level.
All right, let's go. Let's go, baby. Maybe that's why I'll have to come to El Paso to do some research for mini retreat spaces and healers. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm here for it. I mean, this is again, like this is what I see myself doing, and that's what I've learned from staying the course, even though it's hard and people will do dumb shit. It's worth it. And I can't stop thinking about it. Like I'm always thinking about the retreats, always in the back of my mind. So that's how I know. I'm like, I got to keep doing it. Like, who
Yeah,
cares?
I
Just
love
keep
that.
going. Yeah.
Yes. So there you go. You guys are going to have to like subscribe to her email notification so that way you guys get the updates, the latest details, all that good stuff. To close it off, what's that one song that gets you pumped up? Because me, I love music. I love expanding my playlists and genres and ears to different things. Like music's on a whole other level of kind of self love for me. So, what would be that one song? Or if you have two, what is
The
it?
song that's been really working for me in the last few weeks is the Savage remix by Meg The Stallion and Beyonce. And probably the I Woke Up Like This remix with Nicki Minaj and Beyonce.
Common denominator, Beyonce.
The Queen. Yeah, and I just went to her show, Dead, like epic. But I'm all about lyrics, and so is Beyonce, and it's all so empowering.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel good about myself. And I'm like, hell yeah. Or like the new album, I'm That Girl. Like, yes. Like these motherfuckers ain't stopping me. Like,
Yes.
correct. Correct. Go ahead and try. Bye. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm doing the shit. Like, so yeah, those are my hype songs right now. Obviously, all Beyonce because that's my girl. But yeah. And I have a whole other I keep plugging, I can't stop talking. But on Spotify, I have a playlist called Intentional Living. And it's all songs kind of like that are
Oh,
super
okay.
dope, super fun, but they're inspirational as well. So I'm gonna send it to you so you can listen to it on your own.
Yes,
And then
please.
yeah, but music's a vibe, it's important. And I love that question. Good job, Roxy. You're so smart.
Oh, I have my moments.
That's your life. That's the
I know.
vibe.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for rocking with me and continuing to rock with me. And we're going to have to leave it here until next time.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see you. I'll see y'all again
Yes.
next time I rock with Roxy on the new podcast. Congratulations. I'm here for
Thank
it. It's going to be
you.
epic. And everybody subscribe, follow, share, send to your friends, and let's spread the word in communities, support each other, lift each other up because Roxy's out here doing the work, y'all. So let's show her a lot of love.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Because you know me, I forget to promote myself. So I appreciate you for that. But aside from that, I want you all listeners to just remember you guys are remarkable and you guys are resilient. Just make sure you give yourself credit. So be kind, much love. Until next time, bye.